Sri Lanka has entered a positive path under the stewardship of the President. Statement by the Prime Minister in Singapore. Opposition criticizes Arjuna Mahendran's inclusion in Prime Minister's delegation.
තමන්ගේ මිතුරා රැක ගැනීම වෙනුවෙන් අගමැතිතුමා දරන උත්සාහය නින්දිතයි.
ග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමා එයාව බඳව ගන්නකොටම ඒ හොරකම එයා බාරනවා.
Customs seizes 165 million rupees in foreign currency at the BIA. SLFP local government representatives respond to the joint opposition local government forum.
ජනතාවතරින් පිළිකුල් ලෙස ප්‍රතික්ෂේප වෙච්ච මේ උදවිය තමයි මේ ලිපිය අත්සන් කළා තියෙන්නේ.
TNA says that persons rejected by the people are using the Jaffna University incident to inconvenience the government.
Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your primetime news bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Nicola De Zoiza. We start off with a look at our top story. A meeting of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party presided over by the President was held this evening. Our correspondent stated that a group of party activists as well as SLFP organizers were present at the meeting. According to reports, matters pertaining to the upcoming local government elections as well as the issues surrounding increase in VAT were on the agenda of this meeting.
As mentioned in your headlines, airport customs have arrested 3 persons for attempting to smuggle 165 million rupees in foreign currency out of the country. The money was discovered cleverly concealed at the bottom of a travelling bag which belonged to a female suspect who was arrested.
Deputy Director of Airport Customs Parakrama Basnayaka said that the luggage of a woman who was to board a flight to Dubai was inspected at around 3:25 this morning following a tip-off. Among the foreign currency were US dollars, euros, Kuwait dinars, Norwegian krones, Oman Qatar and Saudi Arabian rials, Swiss francs and dirhams of the UAE. According to the exchange law of the country, individuals are only allowed to take foreign currency with a value not exceeding $5,000, while a sum of $10,000 can be taken out of the country after obtaining a special approval from a recognized bank. If currency above the limit is to be carried abroad, it needs to be declared to Sri Lanka Customs. Following the interrogation of the female suspect, it was revealed that she had decided to act as a mule to smuggle the currency on the agreement that she will be paid for the task. The others who were arrested had come to assist her in the smuggling act.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවෙන් විදේශයන්ට නොයෙකුත් ආකාරයේ වාණිජමය කටයුතු සඳහා මේ
It is reported that currency is carried abroad from Sri Lanka for various purposes. These persons are carrying the currency in violation of the law. Therefore, this is a serious blow to the country's economy if not nabbed by customs. Investigations are at the highest level. We hope to conclude the investigation soon.
තව සුළු මොහොතකින් පරීක්ෂණය ආරම්භ කරලා අවසන් කිරීමට අපි කටයුතු යොදා තිබෙනවා.
Foreign currency is taken abroad illegally and in a very premeditated manner. This incident is only a part of this ring. This is a planned operation that is taking place with the blessings of the law as well. For some reason, this has been stopped. 3 persons have been arrested and this needs to be probed. What is the force behind these smugglers? The law needs to be enacted on who gave them money and the bags.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says Sri Lanka, under the leadership of President Maithripala Sirisena, has begun a journey along the correct path for the future. Speaking in Singapore, the Prime Minister also noted that the foundation for this was national reconciliation and economic development.
Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong hosted a lunch for Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is on an official visit to the Southeast Asian nation. Speaking at the event, Prime Minister Wickremesinghe had noted that Sri Lanka and Singapore boast of a strategically important location in the South Asian region.
The ancient kingdom of Singapore was also part of the empires with which Sri Lanka had to deal from time to time. When Sri Lanka became independent as Ceylon, DS Selenayaka Ceylon was an example for the late Lee Kuan Yew to follow. But time came in which we departed from the free economy and tried many of the socialist controlled experiments. And for us, in the mid-70s, the model was to look at Singapore and Lee Kuan Yew.
Last evening, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe called on the South Asian CEO of the Singapore Ports Authority, Ong Kim Pong. Ong Kim Pong noted that the Singapore Ports Authority stands ready to aid and assist Sri Lankan ports to develop and upgrade the technologies in use. He noted that they have focused attention on the modernization of the eastern container terminal of the Colombo port.
Former Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Arjuna Mahendran, is accompanying Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe on his tour of Singapore. According to the Prime Minister's office, the former governor is part of the delegation as the head of the 5-year development plan for Sri Lanka. A number of views were expressed regarding the matter.
What
we have to ask is, did the Prime Minister of this country come into power through the vote of the people or through the money of Arjuna Mahendran? He has forgotten the economy of the people of this country and is attempting to protect his classmate. He is directing his parliamentary group for this purpose as well. The UNP representatives in COPE are shamelessly speaking on behalf of Arjuna Mahendran.
මේ දැන් කෝප් කමිටුව නියෝජනය කරන එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ മന്ത്രിවරු රෙදි නැතුව අර්ජුන් මහේන්ද්‍රන් වෙනුවෙන් කඩේ යනවා. විගණකාධිපති වාර්තාවෙන් පැහැදිලිව හෙළිදරව් වෙලා තිබෙනවා.
The Auditor General's report clearly shows that the country has incurred a loss of 1,674 million rupees through the bond transaction in 2 days. They haven't yet made the calculation as to how much it will be in 30 years. The attempt made by the Prime Minister is to save his friend even when such a fraud is before our eyes is disgusting. What we say is they handed him the Board of Investment and he gnawed into it. The Central Bank was handed over to him. He did the same. Now we get to know that he has been appointed to a major subcommittee in the country. We do not mind Wickremesinghe obtaining personal advice from him, but we condemn the fact that he has been handed over important ministries of the country. The person who had allegations raised against him and who was denied the position of Central Bank Governor is accompanying the Prime Minister to Singapore for talks on the economy. These actions are completely contradictory. Think about the message it gives out. There is a report of the Auditor General which says he did not fulfill his duties. There is extensive investigation carried out through the COPE. And amidst all of this, he is being taken to Singapore as a close consultant to the Prime Minister. It is all right for any individual to engage in corruption as long as he is a friend. The deciding factor is this friendship. Arjuna Mahendran said that he will not accept any post until his name is cleared. When he was recruited by the Prime Minister, he has accepted the robbery. The idea that is given to the public is that they are disregarding even the views of civil society that raised them to this position. It shows that the government will continue on its political path without paying any heed to the voices of the public.
In the meantime, experts charge that the government is systematically covering up certain controversial incidents in the country through the appointment of various committees. They point out that the government is in the midst of an unsuccessful attempt to cover up incidents which occurred in the recent past by appointing such committees.
Committees were appointed for several incidents which came to light in the recent past, including the controversial bond transaction. In light of these exposures, yet another committee has been appointed with regard to the coal deal.
The present government and the past government are indulging the same performance of appointing committees or commissions and thereafter not acting upon them or not taking it any further, so that the problems cease to exist by forgetfulness or by non-attendance. Now let us take the case of the present government. the case of the bond scam? Was it because of those three committee that gave the inquiry that the action was taken, or was it because the media and the public rose on this matter? Then we have now a coal tender problem. The government must take action on what is available in the Supreme Court. They should act on it. Now let us take the case of the last government. They had three excellent reports. One by Paranagama on disappearances, one by the LLRC on the question of reconciliation, and one on human rights by Udulagama. Excellent reports. But none of those reports were given, was implemented, or anything came out of those reports. Why? Because the government did not implement them. Why? Because the government, I don't even read those reports. If they read, they would have known how beneficial it was for the country. Instead of that, they just dragged on without attending to any of these things. They were suppressed, and what happens? We are facing the music.
A committee has been appointed to examine 2 audit reports regarding the purchasing of coal. They have appointed Professor Pereira as a member of this committee, who himself is a person who was the root cause for the birth of a mafia among officials, as well as an engineers mafia within the Ceylon Electricity Board. The officials who appear before these committees, appointed by state officials themselves, are most likely at the center of the issue which is being investigated. These committees issue their recommendations based on the data and analysis compiled by these officials. So the prime objective of these recommendations is in fact to protect and save those who are involved in various acts of fraud and corruption, not to fulfill the wishes of the public.
The appointment of such committees was also discussed during last night's Face the Nation program.
That by Mr. Varnasuri that there is a committee appointed on top of a Supreme Court direction when it comes to this coal incident.
This committee, in my opinion, is a whitewash. This is like that committee that was appointed to look into the Central Bank Government appointment. You see, Sakuranga, with the utmost respect to the Honourable Prime Minister, we must stop putting this committee. This is like that where everything that happens in the country, the committee is appointed and we talk of the committee. You see, we wait for the committee decision and then the committee decision comes and it's made right. Committees won't do it. The Supreme Court of the country,
Former public representatives of local government bodies convened 2 separate media briefings today.
We will be commencing a public protest march against the oppression in the country, the decision to delay local government polls, and against the increase in VAT. Over 95% of the heads of local government forum will join in this undertaking.
They want to break away from the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and form a separate political party. The group that has signed this document are the ones who were corrupt during their term in office and were involved in malpractices. They are individuals who have been rejected by the people. This letter must be directed to the bin. We tear up this letter. This letter does not deserve to be put in the bin. This needs to be destroyed completely. We reject this letter.
It is difficult to dispose garbage and dengue is spreading rapidly. Street lamps are not maintained. Roads are not clean nor carpeted. All the services have been suspended.
Although this is called a national government, during the VAT issue, who was with the people? The president. He was also there when the issue surrounding the governor of the central bank was taken up. He solved it and we need to strengthen him. The government will be there for another 5 years. This government cannot be shaken. We need to master these local councils under the government.
In a little over 12 hours from now, work will officially commence on the first 3 projects of the historic Gammadda 100-day initiative. This will be the first such public service initiative to be carried out by a media organization in the country.
Gammadda 100-day initiative. With the people, for the people.
The Gammadda 100 Days Public Service Initiative will commence at 3 locations tomorrow, kicking off 3 projects. One project is the renovation of the Dambanayaya Alakolavawa Road in Sigirimulla, Dambulla.
When we heard of the news, we were extremely happy. I cried when I heard the news. When children reach school, the others have already engaged in religious observances. When they are questioned, all they have to say is there are no proper roads.
A drinking water project will commence tomorrow aimed at providing relief to the residents of Boralagama in Valikama, Matara, who have been suffering for years without access to clean drinking water. This is the fate that has befallen the students of the Periyaparanda Government Mixed School in Kilinochi, which houses several empty water tanks. Newsfirst came across this school during the Gum Map the Door-to-Door program, and a drinking water project for the school will commence tomorrow. Newsfirst has taken the necessary steps to kickstart and complete over 100 other projects during the 100-day period that begins tomorrow. According to the Gum Map the Secretariat, the financial assistance required for the completion of these projects have been procured. The Gum Map the Secretariat will be in operation for 24 hours a day to help assist those who wish to donate in to assist in the projects that will be undertaken over the 100-day period.
The 20th of July. On this day, every rupee you donated will be used to end the despair of the less fortunate.
අලුත් යුගයක් උදා වෙන කාලේ.
මේ අපි අපිට ලං වෙන කාලයයි.
The first ever island-wide public service initiative. With the people, for the people. A drinking water project for the Kilinochi Periyaparandan Government School on the 20th of July. A road for the people of Damanayaya. Clean drinking water facilities for the village of Borala.
Gammadda 100-day initiative. With the people, for the people.
A number of projects that support national development are currently in effect. One such project is the reservoir project in Moragahakanda. The Moragahakanda Reservoir is the last project of the 5 great reservoirs in the Mahavali Master Plan. Even though the plan was compiled 30 years ago, the projects were delayed due to the lack of funds. The project is currently being carried out under the direct supervision of President Maithripala Sirisena. The Moragahakanda Reservoir, which spreads over 29.5 square kilometers, was constructed by King Wasaba in 111 AD. The reservoir is located within close proximity to the Alahara Canal, which was constructed blocking the Amban River. As a twin project, the Kaluga Reservoir was constructed and water was brought to the Moragahakanda through a canal which spans 9 kilometers. The objective of the overall project is to collect the water that is at the basin of the Amban River and to distribute it among the Matale, Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa and Trincomalee districts to be used for agricultural needs during the Yala and Maha seasons. In addition, the water will be used to fulfill domestic and industrial water requirements while providing 25 megawatts to the national electricity grid. The total project cost is estimated to be 100 billion rupees, while plans have been made to fill the reservoir by November this year.
This is done on behalf of the farmers who donated their lands. These new villages and settlements will feature all the physical resources required by these persons. The government also granted them with proper compensation. This is a massive project. This is a project that will contribute to the development of the country.
Today marks a very important day in the Buddhist calendar, as Buddhists the world over observe Asala Full Moon Poya Day. In addition, the final Perahera of the Ruhunukataragama Mahadevalaya will parade the streets tonight.
Buddhists engaged in Amisa and Pratipatti pujas in temples across the country since dawn today. According to Buddhist literature, it was on this day that Lord Buddha was conceived in the womb of Mahamaya Devi, and Prince Siddhartha renounced worldly pleasures and fortunes. The preaching of the first sermon, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra by Lord Buddha, also took place on an Asala Full Moon Poya Day.
Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadasa laid the foundation stone for the 45th model village in Hambantota today.
The village named Situjaya is being constructed in the Megahajadura area in Suryavaba, Hambantota. 35 houses will be built in this village. Beneficiaries were also presented with land deeds and housing aid at the event.
The former president is travelling across the nation and is asking a question. He wants to know if you feel better now. Is the change better? He asks. I wish to know that the government and the people feel better now. Why do I say that? The era before was one where free speech was restricted. Today the people are free to speak in the country. The white van culture is no more. The culture of murder is no more. Today we have a culture of giving life to the people. Back then funds of the treasury were used in an arbitrary manner. Palaces were constructed. Palaces with swimming pools and gymnasiums were constructed. What is the change now? We are building houses for the people. We are building Udagammana. Housing aid is being given. Rather building palaces for the rulers, a palace for the common man is being built with state funds. Ravi Karunanayake, the Minister of Finance, presented monetary aid for the renovation of 2 temples in Mutwal today. Monetary aid was presented under the Sadaham Savya program for the development of temples in Colombo North. MP Vimal Veeravansa is making various statements. He says that while VAT is being reduced, the fuel prices will be increased. We do not have such economists with us. We are true to our words. The people benefit from that. If we say we will reduce something, we will do it. Likewise, if we say we will give protection, we will do it. Former President Rajapaksa also makes statements. He has no issue when courts give a ruling on VAT. However, when we make a statement about Namal's arrest, he has an issue. We bow down to democracy and operate with the advice of the courts.
Narcotics enter prisons in various ways. One such tactic used by peddlers to smuggle drugs into prisons was uncovered by the authorities today. Prison authorities say that this drug racket was carried out through persons incarcerated for petty crimes.
Recently, a 28-year-old from Dematagoda was arrested and remanded on court orders for the possession of a marijuana cigarette. Upon a suspicion that had arisen when the suspect was being placed in remand custody, intelligence officials searched the suspect and discovered 4,760 milligrams of heroin, 29,300 milligrams of Kerala ganja and a pill. When we investigated this racket, we discovered that those involved in this ring purposely get arrested and get themselves remanded on the holidays after committing petty crimes. When they enter the remand prisons, they conceal such prohibited items on their person and distribute them among the inmates. There was a growing suspicion among the security and intelligence units of the prisons department. We hope to take action on this.
Experts charge that the government is systematically covering up certain controversial incidents in the country through the appointment of various committees.
The appointment of such committees was also discussed during last night's Face the Nation program.
Is that why, Mr. Varnasuri, that there is a committee appointed on top of a Supreme Court direction when it comes to this coal incident?
This committee, in my opinion, is a whitewash. This is like that committee that was appointed to look into the Central Bank Governor's appointment. You see, Chaturanga, with the utmost respect to the Honorable Prime Minister, we must stop putting these committees. If everything that happens in the country, a committee is appointed and we talk with the committee and we wait for the committee decision and then the committee decision comes and it's made right. No. Committees won't do it. The Supreme Court of the country, the highest apex court has said it's illegal, null and void, we are cancelling it. It's against the law, all three of us are lawyers. As Pratibha said, it's contempt of court actually.
A police investigation is underway into an incident where a woman died during the arrest of a suspect in the Angulana area. Relatives of the victim charged that she was pushed by the police. However, the police say that the post-mortem examination into the death states that the woman died of a heart attack.
Based on information revealed by a suspect arrested for the possession of marijuana, the Angulana police dispatched a group of officers to arrest the individual who had made the sale of marijuana. The suspect's wife and another group of women protested when the police attempted to arrest the suspect. Police say that when the suspect was being brought to the police in a three-wheeler, the woman in question along with another had followed the vehicle. They added that at that instance the woman had collapsed and died. However, the relatives of the woman say that she collapsed as she was pushed by the police officers. The victim's relatives add that the woman who had lost consciousness was admitted to the Lunava hospital but had already died even though she was later transferred to the Panadura hospital.
They came in screaming. I said I don't have anything. They asked if I had any drugs. I said no and that I did not sell any to anyone. Then they pulled a pistol out and dragged me away.
While he was being dragged, she ran behind them. While she was following them, they told her to go away and pushed her, after which they put him inside the three-wheeler. She fell. She had no illness as such for her to take any medication.
The victim has been identified as 42-year-old Prema Nilanthi Silva, who is a resident of the Lakshapathiya Kanagaratna area in Moratuwa. She was a mother of 3 daughters, who are school and preschool students. While the remains of the victim was handed over to her relatives following the post-mortem examination, the investigation into her death is being conducted under the supervision of 2 assistant superintendents of police of Moratuwa and Mount Lavinia. Another individual has been taken into police custody based on the information revealed by the suspect, who was arrested during the raid.
TNA MP M.A. Sumanthiran expressed views regarding the incident that took place at the Jaffna University during a meeting held at the Jaffna office of the Ilangai Tamil Arsa Katchi or ITAC.
Disputes that take place between Tamil and Sinhalese university students cannot be considered as a normalcy at any given instance. We have to be more vigilant. The views of responsible individuals are that it's better not to talk about who is at fault. Acts such as this are taking place to stop some of the radical changes that are about to take place in the country. Those who are chased away from power are inciting such acts. They should stop making universities a platform for their activities. We have to act mindfully.
Marathon champion Anuradha Indrajit Kure has been appointed as captain of the Sri Lanka contingent that will compete at the Rio Olympics next month. Meanwhile, large crowds gathered today as well to extend their wishes to the Torch of Hope rally, which is currently underway to muster support for the Sri Lankan athletes representing the country at the forthcoming Olympics.
The Torch of Hope rally commenced today as part of its journey across the country from Vavuniya this morning under the auspices of DIG of Vavuniya, Deshabandhu Thandakon and Vavuniya District Secretary Rohana Pushpakumara. South Asian bronze medalist Nuwan Kumara received the Torch of Hope from Vavuniya. Students of the science faculty of the Vavuniya campus as well as students of the Saivar Pugashara Convent Vavuniya and Atamagaskara College took part in the ceremony today. The parade carrying the Torch of Hope, which departed Vavuniya for Horoputana, was welcomed by the OIC of Horoputana and area residents. The parade received a warm reception upon its arrival. The final stop of the day for the motorcade carrying the Torch of Hope was the Trincomalee town. The Torch of Hope was received at the Trincomalee town by Trincomalee ASP Chandana Koditwaku and Assistant Superintendent of Prisons of Trincomalee Prasad Hemantajaya. Large crowds including foreign tourists who gathered at the Trincomalee town extended their wishes to the Sri Lankan sportsmen and women who will be competing at the Rio Olympics. The Torch of Hope rally will travel across Kantale and make its way to Polonnaruwa tomorrow.
Well, that's a wrap of your primetime news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. For the Newsfirst team, I am Nicola D'Zoiza.
And I'm Sharon Silva. Take care
and good night.